So you may have been and spent some money and bought yourself some lovely shirts. When you get them home, how are you actually looking after them? I'm going to show you a couple of things today that you should definitely bear in mind when trying to preserve your clothing. So first of all, how are you getting the wrinkles out of your clothing when it's been folded up in the cupboard or it's been hanging in the wardrobe for a long amount of time? Are you using the old standard iron, or have you got yourself one of these, a steamer? Not only is this super convenient for when you travel because you don't need to have an ironing board carried around with you, you're not actually pressing hot metal against the fabric of your garment consistently, which over time is going to slightly degrade the quality of the material. So as you can see here, this is super simple to use. You put a little bit of water in, press the button, steam comes out, and you can just steam your clothing. There's no contact with the metal and the garment. I'm just able to steam those creases out nice and easily without putting too much pressure on the actual shirt. Next, when you are hanging your shirts in the wardrobe, be aware of how you are actually buttoning up that shirt. I'm going to show you a little example here. If you can see, the top button is not undone, and see the slack in the shirt there. Now that is going to translate to when I'm actually wearing that shirt. You should be hanging your shirts just like this. Those top buttons are done up, which is going to maintain that integrity of the top of this collar. So when you actually wear the shirt, it's not going to sag in the position that it's been left. Now, if I was to put this shirt on now, the chances are that that collar is going to sag exactly like it has been in my wardrobe for weeks and weeks. So we do want to make sure that we are buttoning our shirt all the way to the top if it's going to be hanging up in your wardrobe. Now, another tip regarding the collar on your shirt, this isn't the same with all shirts, but if I just lift this up here, can you see this little plastic filament there? That essentially keeps the integrity of your collar here, which means that it's not just going to fold and bend if it's been folded up in a load of piles of clothing, or if it's been in a laundry basket and it's bent like that. The last thing you want to do is to put that collar on and there's a very obvious bend or fold. Now, you can buy your own personal versions of these, metal ones that are a little bit stronger, but most good quality shirts will come with those inserts. So always bear that in mind. If you do have a shirt where the collar is a little bit floppy, just check underneath that fold and see if it may possibly be missing one of those little inserts. If you are going to be hanging your shirts, jumpers, t-shirts in your wardrobe, bear a couple of things in mind. What is the material like of the garment, and what hanger are you putting on? If you see here, I've got a really thin metal hanger, and can you see how that is pushing the edge of the shirt out there? Now, if that's been sat there for weeks and I take this hanger out, can you see how there's a very obvious little fold in that shirt? Now, if I was to put that shirt on, I'm going to have very obvious little lumps on my shoulder because the material has been consistently pushed out by this thin coat hanger. If you have a piece of clothing where the material is quite heavy and it's going to be prone to that happening, you're going to be better off to just fold it up, or if you must be hanging it in your wardrobe, then get yourself some hangers like this that has a little bit of a thicker shoulder, meaning when I put that on there, that is not going to become an issue. You can see how that is a bit more evenly distributed now. Yes, of course, there is still a little bit of a push out, but it's not as intense as that thin metal hanger. So I'm going to be able to take this off the hanger and wear it without feeling like I need to get that dent out. But if I revert back to the first tip, if you do find that you've got items of clothing hung up, you've not done up your top button on your shirt and it is sagging a little bit, use this steamer. If you've got little holes or little marks that's pushing up in the corner of your jumper, of your t-shirt, you can steam them out and get that shape back. But if it's something that you do consistently, you are going to damage that part of your shirt, of your t-shirt, or of your jumper. And lastly, before I go, make sure that you read the washing instructions so you don't end up shrinking your garment, discoloring it if you're putting it in with wrong coloured items. Just follow the instructions on the label, follow the material recommendations, and you're going to be able to keep your clothing in the best possible quality and shape for as long as possible. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you on the next video.